Well, New Canadian Life is a radio show, a community radio program that's based out of CultureLink Settlement Services, as well as Ryerson Community Radio, where we provide information that's pertinent, important to our newcomer immigrants and refugees in Toronto. So it's a community radio show that actually caters to that population.
The Newcomer Radio Workshops is a great program and opportunity for newcomers to meet and work on radio programming. There's no previous experience required, and it's a really fun, learning, all-inclusive, casual experience for them.
Participants are generally newcomers to Canada, although we have a wide definition on that. So we've had people who have been here for 20 years, we have people who've been here just months, and we have people from all kinds of backgrounds. So we've had people who've come here for amazing jobs, and we've had people who've come here as refugees. It's all kind of across the board. Our youngest participants are generally in their teens, but we're open to all ages. With this program, we're generally providing the basics in radio. So that includes everything from how to use a handheld recorder, recording natural sound in the environment, so on the streets, in parks, interviewing people, how to write up interviews and think about questions, research, even steps that go into interviewing. They have to learn how to research music to use, music rights, usage rights, just the basics of how to put together a radio show.
I wanted to learn about the production, how to make a radio show, the scripts and everything, and about editing too. I was curious about that.
I think it's also a good opportunity to make friends with other immigrants in the city. Maybe in the future we say let's start a company or let's start a radio station. I have time, so I want to try.
Our participants are not required to bring any equipment. We basically have all of that handled on site. We have the recorders, we have the microphones, we have the laptops.
Over 6 weeks of the program, they're learning various skills, interviews, soundscapes, music, documentary, and then it all kind of comes to a head with this grand finale live broadcast on the last day. And we do that out of CultureLink instead of at our studio. So it's a remote broadcast, and we use just a few little elements of technology for broadcasting live. So the participants have to do everything. They produce the pre-recorded elements, so that's usually their documentaries or perhaps interview. They have to pick songs that are related to newcomer issues or newcomer themes to play in the broadcast. They have to write the scripts. They have to find news. They really have to find every element of a show and put it together, and they're broadcasting live from right here at CultureLink.
So having a radio show through part of our community radio at Ryerson University gave us access to support new Canadians in terms of voicing their concerns, voicing their challenges in terms of integration, also voicing their successes as it relates to their new homeland in Toronto.
The topics really vary. It really depends on what matters to that group, but we see topics from anything from, culture shock of when they first arrive in Canada to business etiquette, language barriers. We even had one group produce a documentary on the issue of finding good quality food for an affordable price like they can back home. So it's really all over the board, and it's just what matters to these individuals, which is really cool.
I did an interview with a friend who is also an immigrant from China. So I interviewed him about his experience about culture shock. The cultures are very different from China and Canada, so he talked about the experience he had. For example, in China, we show more respect for the boss, so we don't say no directly to other people. But here in Canada, he thinks that people are more direct.
Basically, what the newcomers can expect when they come in here is to do something that's hands-on. It's going to get their brain working. It's also going to be really fun, but it's really going to be meaningful work. They're going to make connections. They're going to learn new skills. And those skills are going to help them in the long run. It's going to benefit them in other areas, not just in radio, but in any field. If they work in business, if they're going to school, these are going to be transferable skills, and it's going to be fun while they learn it.